Similar to what we did previously with customer service, we can now return staff details with a particular order. Earlier, we changed the order service to return a customer associated with that order within the response body of the get order by ID endpoint. Similar to that, we can do the same thing for staff service also. When returning an order by ID, we can include the associated staff member in the response body of the order. If we check the ER diagram, we can see every order is associated with one customer, and also every order is associated with the staff member to whom the order has been assigned. So we can make the changes to reflect this scenario. Let's go to the order service. In order entity, we can add another field, private long order staff ID, and I will annotate it with at column annotation with name as order underscore staff underscore ID. I will give a comment here. We can also change the order DTO. And now we need to return staff details in the response body. Because of that, we need to add another DTO class called staff DTO in our order service microservice. Let me go to the staff service microservice and let me copy this staff DTO. And in the order service, I will create a new Java class called staff DTO. And I will paste it here. I will add the Lombok annotations. Earlier, when we want to call the endpoints from the customer service inside the order service, we used an interface called API client, and then we annotated that interface with @fain client annotation by specifying the name of the microservice that we are going to access. And also we declared a method inside the interface with @getMapping annotation, which is the method that order service is going to call to get the customer details. Similarly, I'm going to create another interface to access the method to get the staff details from the staff-service microservice. So let me create that interface. and I will give the name as API staff client, and I'm going to annotate it with at pain client annotation, and as the name I will give the staff hyphen service. The method I'm going to define is public staff DTO get staff by ID, and we need to give the staff ID as a parameter. I can annotate it with at get mapping. And here I will add the at path variable annotation. Then after defining the faint client, we need to use that faint client inside the order service IMPL. So I'm going to inject API staff client inside the order service IMPL first. So the next step is we have to use that API staff client inside the get order by ID method to access the uh, staff service microservice to call the get staff by ID method. I'm going to add a comment REST API call to staff service microservice using pain client. So API staff client has a method called getStaff by ID, and this method required a staff ID. So this staff ID we can get from the order entity. So I'm going to use the found order dot get order staff ID to get the staff ID, and then I'm passing that ID to the get staff by ID method. This will return a staff DTO object. We need to get that object into the staff DTO reference. This get order by ID method is returning a object of type customer order response DTO. We define this customer order response DTO in our DTO package earlier. At that time, we added the fields as order DTO and customer DTO. Now, because we need to return a staff DTO object, we have to add that field as well. And just like we set the customer earlier, now I'm going to set the staff for the custom order response DTO object, which we created earlier. Then finally, we are going to return that custom order response DTO object. We have done the changes, and let's go ahead and start the order service microservice and also customer service microservice, and let's test these changes. Customer service microservice was started on port 8081, and it was registered as a client in the service registry. Next, I'm going to start the order service. Now, order service application was also started on port 8082, and it was registered with the service registry. Let's go to the Eureka server and let's refresh. And now we can see all the microservices are showing under the instances section with the status of up. So now let's go to the Postman, and we have already created the request to get order by ID. But if we send the request now, we will not see any staff member in the response, because in our database we have not added any staff ID inside the order table. Let's go to the database, and in our om_db orders, let's go to the orders table, and now we can see with the changes we have made, there is a new column is appearing in the orders table with name order_staff_ID. Let's go to the staff database, and in the staff table we have one staff member with staff ID 1. So I'm going to add that staff ID in this column, and for the order ID with ID 3 also, I will add the same staff ID. Now let's go back to the get order by ID request in our Postman, and I think we have an order with order ID 1. Yes, we have. So I'm going to click the send button. And now we are getting the response with order and also with customer and also staff in the response body.